Hey, it's Rafael the Realtor. Hopefully we met somewhere. We met at maybe an open house, or you've just been on my page gathering, watching some real estate videos and trying to learn a little bit before you actually buy or sell your home. If you're watching this video, you might be thinking about buying a home, and so I wanted to make a quick video to explain to you what a buyer's agent is and why they're there. So the buyer's agent hasn't always been a part of the real estate process, and sometimes the negative feeling people have about real estate either comes from a bad agent or, they just had bad experiences or they heard stories. Realistically, until very recently, there weren't buyer's agent. There was only a listing agent, the person who helps the people sell the home, who are legally bound to do what they can to make sure that someone who is selling their home gets the most amount of money and they're treated very well. The buyer, on the other hand, they were left in the air. The buyer had to go in and they had to figure out everything. If there were any issues with the house, they had to do all their due diligence on themselves, but sometimes do all the due diligence by themselves. But sometimes, as you know in life, you only know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know, which puts you in a difficult position if you were buying a house. And that basically was like if you were buying a house or if you were going to court and the one party had a lawyer and the other party didn't have a lawyer. Unless the party without a lawyer was a lawyer themselves, they might be in a very difficult situation. And hey, even lawyers get lawyers when they're in court. So for buyers, for many years, from the beginning until very recently, there were no agents to protect them. And at some point in time, after enough people had suffered because they weren't protected, which meant that if you were trying to buy in certain neighborhoods, if you were getting a certain kind of loan, if you drove a certain color car, they wouldn't let you buy in the neighborhood just because the seller said, oh, I don't want to sell to this person. And there was no mediary, there was nobody there to negotiate on your behalf. You had to do all of that by yourself. And so that put you at a disadvantage. And in recent years, they said, you know what, there needs to be a buyer's agent. There needs to be someone that people can use to protect themselves, to make sure that they get the most protection and the most defense, basically, when they're buying there. Someone who's going to negotiate on their behalf and do all the stuff that they may not know to ask about and they may not know needs to be done. And that's how the whole real estate market changed, because people started getting protected and deals started going a lot more smoother. Another reason that a buyer's agent is really important is when it comes to negotiation and finding you a home. Negotiation, there's a whole video about that. Hopefully it's somewhere down here. You can watch it, find out more about negotiation. When it comes to finding a home, a good buyer's agent isn't just looking at homes that are on the market. They're looking at homes that didn't sell 2-3 years ago. They're looking at homes that were on the market and maybe the people had an emergency and had to take it off the market. They're out there knocking on doors and making phone calls, trying to find you a home. And when you work with someone like that, the chances of you finding the kind of home that you want, the kind of home that you need, is way higher than if you're out there by yourself. Because realistically, you have a job, most likely, you have stuff that you need to be doing. You don't have time to do a real estate agent's job and your job. So working with a buyer's agent takes that pressure off of you and lets the professionals go out there to find you what you really need. And then the last part is contracts. I have a video about contracts, but over 200 pages of contracts and information go into a single transaction. And if you don't know how those contracts work, and if you think that you can go out there and just sign and read and it's going to be okay, it may not be. And some people will be able to do it, but realistically, most people without any knowledge and any background information are going to be at a disadvantage. And when you have a buyer's agent, that person is going to take care of you. They're going to teach you about the contracts to make it really comfortable, because when you're buying a house for $500,000, $1 million, $4 million, you want to know that when you sign your name on that line, you're in a good position and you're coming out as a winner. And so that's the reasons why you need a buyer's agent. So if you have any other questions, definitely reach out to me. I have a whole presentation for buyers, and I can definitely tell you what I do to help you get the best house and help you find what you call your dream home. All right? So like I always said, you can't be the best at everything, but you can choose to work with the best agent who gives you great information for free. All right, thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.